Hey guys, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. I just had to quickly do this one. This was insane stuff. So when I saw something, I said, you know what, I have to show you what's going on. So just a quick one. I've been tracking this chart for some time. I've made this and I've put some little markers here and there, and we've talked about how certain levels, when we hit those levels, for example, when we hit this particular level here, so just for the sake of it, when we hit this area here, we are going to face some traffic. And as you can see, we did face some traffic at this specific area. This is on a 4-hourly, but I'm going to move you through because I've seen a few things and it just was like mind-blowing. So what happened was, I'm obviously just going through my charts, trying to clean up as many charts as possible. Get rid of some of the junk that I've got there. Basically, I'm just kind of messing around, and this is a chart we looked at recently, and I was doing the 1 2 3 pattern, right? So remember, it's on a, this is not the exact date, but this is just a pattern we will follow. So I've been looking at this and I was like, okay, this is pretty good, right? So we're looking at all these patterns. And then for some odd reason, I decided to go and do something like this, where I just went on the chart and I said, let me have a look in the past to see what's going on. And all of a sudden, it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, oh my God, how come everybody missed this pattern? Literally, I think everyone missed this pattern. It's just staring at us and we just missed it, right? We completely missed this pattern. And I'll show you a little bit more about this pattern. So I did kind of catch on to this pattern once before, but at that particular time, as you see here, when I did actually catch up on it, I was doing it from here. So I did this bull flag here. But what I missed was actually, this is done on a daily. It wasn't the bull flag. The bull flag was elsewhere. So I went back and I said, okay, I've got to double check all of this, see what's going on. So this is not going to be a long video at all, guys. This is not going to be. So if you're new to this channel, like, share, subscribe. This is where we discover all sorts of crazy stuff. And also some of these patterns and lines and everything, we've drawn them long time ago. So I want to show you what I saw, and then I'll take you to the main chart, right? So on this chart, you saw me doing the lines and everything the other day. We were doing it together a few days ago. We did all of this together. So I started working on this and I said, okay, let me have a look at this. Let me do some maths on this and see what's going on. And if you can see the blue highlight here, I'm sure you all know what this means. This means it's a bull flag, right? This means it's a bull flag, right? So we've been in a bull flag all this time, right? And I didn't even realize that. So, we were in the bull flag pole and this was the flag. And currently, I mean, if you just look, it's just insane, right? How, each line, each level has this little barrier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move you off this chart now and I'm going to take you on another chart so we can observe this properly and see what's going on, right? We do some more maths here. So what I did was I put on a weekly. Number one, I had to put on a weekly to understand exactly what's going on. So we know the flag doesn't start here. We know the flag actually started here. If you do the weekly, then the flag started here, right? And I've colored it in a darker blue color so you can see what's going on. So what we see here is, this is the, technically, when we had the Black Swan event, we have a kind of a, bullish nature forming, but up to here it was stable, and then you can see here it broke off. So if you look at the trend line, this was the trend line, and then here the trend line broke off. This is the flagpole, right? This is the flagpole from what we're seeing. Okay, this was the flagpole, and you can see how steady it became. Now we can also, obviously, what I've done is I've calculated a few other bits and bobs, and I looked at this and I said, okay, this was the market high. So if I use the market high, where would it be? And if I use the flagpole, where would it be? So I'm trying to calculate certain things here, right? And one of the methods I'm using is, I've put a line here. For example, I've put a line here and I said, okay, forget the market top. Let's just go to the point where we broke out. So this would be that point, right? And I've made 3 lines for a very good reason. And I'll show you this in a second right now. So here's the second line, and we're going to take a third line here just to show you what I'm seeing, right? So we've got 3 lines. So you can see here. Now remember, my cursor is blue here. So we can see 3 specific lines here. So what we're going to do, we're going to zoom out a little bit and see what these 3 lines show us. So normally, remember, the bull flag pole itself is the distance we will travel. If we do get a bull flag, we will travel from the bottom where we are. So we've marked the bottom here, and I'll show you clearly here. I know there's a lot of stuff here, guys, a lot of stuff here. So you can see the top of this yellow box is where the wick went, but the body was here. We want to count the body, not the wick, right? Let's count the body. right, on this particular occasion. So number one thing we want to do is we want to take a candle, we're going to take this and we'll put it on the body, right, on the body, nothing else. So we just put it on the body. Now there's no specific, there's no date, time or anything like this. We just want to put this on the body to see what it shows us. This is how it gets really, really insane. If you look carefully, I'll just bring it down and I'll show you. The bull flag pole is indicating the 1618. How insane is that? That's the 1618. I mean, that's pretty damn insane, right? Where you take this line and you measure, and a measured move says that the next high is the 1618, which is the $85,000. Pretty insane, right? So then I said to myself, I said, okay, what if I take one more line and we go to the previous high, which was here. We take the previous high and we put one more line on the previous high and see what the forecast would be for us. And I did this, right? So I put it on this particular line here. And that forecast brings us into this specific zone. Now you might ask, what is this box here? Well, I've, months ago, when we were in this 39 zone, below this 39 zone, I told you that we're going to be expecting a range between the 65. Well, this is the same thing. This specific range here is from 93 to like $228,000. That's all this is. This is just the range. It's just a box giving me a range, $94,000, right? So it's just a specific range that I'm looking at. In the future, we might actually see something. So what we can expect is if we do come to this particular level in the future sometime, we will see a bounce. We will see a bounce. Also, when we're looking at this particular area here, we can see that when we finally break this 1618, we're off to the races, and this particular level here is 120k level, right? So if I just put a line here just for the sake of it, so you'll understand what I'm trying to say, right? So if I put a line here, you can see the 120,000 level is actually what the target would be if we did have a bounce like this. So this would, imagine this to be our wave one, right, of the Fibonacci. Remember when we're doing the Fibonacci, where is it? Sorry, I think I lost that chart, but let me find it for you. Is it this? Nope. This? No. Sorry, I'm just looking for the chart, guys. Yeah, here, for example, right? So when we're looking at the Elliott wave and using the Fibonacci numbers, we're looking at wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So when we look at this pattern here and we say, okay, if we had our wave 1 here, right, wave 2 and then a 3, with 3 we know is the longest wave. If you look carefully, 3 is always the longest wave. That means we can go way beyond that, but I'm just looking at this as a range, right, to see what we can do. And obviously time hasn't come yet. So obviously when you're looking at charts, when you're looking at this, you think this is small. It's not. There's a lot of time involved in that. The reason you're seeing this short end, you know that these three lines were exactly the same, but because of the difference, right? So here, obviously the percentage is higher. Here, the percentage is slightly low. Here, the percentage is slightly lower. So what you're looking at is the difference. That's all it is. That's why the lines are smaller, but this doesn't mean any difference. I mean, imagine going from 65 to there, that's a 100x. That's like, double, 100%, that's double, right? So these are the kind of critical things you got to notice when you're looking at this. And I noticed this on a weekly. I didn't see it on a daily, because on a daily it was a bit difficult, because obviously we had a lot of stuff. And remember, I did track on a daily, but that was a wrong flag. This is the flag. I think that everybody missed this. This was the flag. This is the point where we basically kind of, broke out of everything. If you look carefully, this was a massive resistance area. We broke this resistance. We broke this 2019 resistance. We broke it. That's when the flag came up. That's when the flag came up. So the flag that we drew was actually kind of wrong, because we drew the flag from here, and we drew a flag just for this short period here, but it wasn't. It was a bigger flag. So I'm sure a lot of other guys who watch this video and this and that, YouTubers, will soon come out with this, right? They will come out with this bull flag that weekly. We just had a bull flag on the weekly, and a weekly bull flag, whatever the distance we traveled here is going to be the same distance we're going to travel here. And right now the Fibonacci's are giving us the 1618 Fibonacci is giving us the $85,000. But in the short term, right, listen guys, in the short term, what you have to understand, and for that I'm going to zoom back into the daily, because I want to show you this, right? For that, what you have to understand, there's a lot more going on. right? When you look at these areas, you can see that we've got these boxes, right? And these boxes are very significant. So remember, these yellow boxes are easy. There's nothing really there. These red boxes are tough resistance zones. So what you've got here, as you can see, if you look carefully, the wick, I mean, just look at this wick. Exactly on this point, we got rejected. Actually, let me see if I can reduce this. Yes, let me see if I can take this completely off just to show you what I'm trying to say. Look, you can see the wick was exactly here, the rejection was exactly here, right? Now these boxes have been there for days, so I wouldn't have had any idea that it was going to get a rejection here. Think about it. But that's because the math said it should have a rejection here. You know, these are tough zones where we need to basically go beyond in order for us to confirm the market and confirm everything. So we are going to play these up and down. But good news is that, you know, day before yesterday we attempted it. We almost touched it. Today we did touch it. So finally we did touch this level, right? We actually touched this level. Now that we touched it, it's bound to go and try and test this particular box here and break through. So it's having a hard time to break into this red box. That's why they're color coded, so it's easier, right? So you understand these red boxes are heavy resistance zones. Okay, the yellow ones are not so resistant, but then again, like for this one, for example, the entry would be not much, but then as soon as we come into this red level line, this red box level here, so I can even actually extend this one, I think. Yeah, if I extend this one, what I'm trying to say here, so for example, come to this area here, right? You can see the red would be the toughest zone for us to cross. And then I've also marked it on another chart actually, what we predict, right? So for example, this is where I've marked it, that as soon as we enter these 60,000 level, bull market continues, right? So remember, the target is only after we hit the target. We can't actually predict what's going to happen because we could easily see a rejection here and come back down again, you know? So this is one of the things that you have to understand. I mean, this, you can see the patterns we built here. We've got, like, for example, this specific, you know, level here, we done this, we done that, we done that, and we might be doing this, right? Which is not a problem, except that it doesn't really work, because what happened was at that very same time we had one more pattern playing out, right? And this is the problem we had. So we had this, 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 and this, and this kind of give us a little bit of a bullish pattern, because obviously this area here, for example, let me just cut this off. So, right, so this particular area here is bullish, however this was not. So if you look here, this one here, this leg here invalidated this point, right, which was bearish. But then from this point onwards, we did create a double bottom here, 1, 2, and that would give us, and technically it's a triple bottom, but this was lower, which is why it invalidated. And now this is a new attempt. So this is a new attempt at a double bottom, which is really good. And if this pattern plays out, then that's what we're going to see. We're going to see this massive breakout. And obviously, so far, we're struggling to get above this neckline. This is the neckline we need to get above, not this neckline. This is the neckline, right? Once we get above this, confirm a candle, then we have a massive confirmation, and then we move forward, right? So these are the kind of stuff you have to look out for. And you can see this is just insane how we got rejected exactly on that line. Exactly on that line, right? That's where we got the rejection. And remember, the next rejection is going to come here. So obviously I told a few people who do swing tradings, I said, guys, if you want to sell, you just sell on these particular levels. First time we touch, just sell, pick up the dip, right? And then continue, right? But it is risky, I'll be honest with you. Anybody hodling, you're better off hodling. This is not worth you trying to attempt this. Really not worth it. Also, another brother mentioned something about hardware wallets. I just want to drop it in this video. Listen, the longest established hardware wallets are probably the best one. The most simplest ones are the best ones. You don't need fancy gimmicks and digits and Bluetooth and this and that. You don't need none of that business. I mean, of course, some of the older ones also have it, but they are more reputable. They've had more work put into them. Some random company coming in and saying this is great and this and that. You don't need any of that, right? I mean, the best wallet you could ever have is a paper wallet. Would you believe that? The best wallet you could ever have is a paper wallet. You don't even need one of those hardware wallets. But the point is even if you do get a hardware wallet, a cold storage, and you know what you're doing, then just stick to the best, the oldest, more reputable ones. I wouldn't really trust the new ones, I'll be honest with you, because you never know who's just sitting there doing what, because everyone's after your BTC, remember that. So try and keep your BTC safe. Yeah, other than that, I mean, there's really nothing else. I just wanted to show you this because I don't think anybody right? Anybody in this community has actually noticed what we just did there. I don't think anybody noticed that we had a bull flag flashing here, right? A bull flag. So this was the pole and this was a flag flashing here all this time, and we're just about to break out of this. We're about to break out of this, right? And the breakout point, I'll be honest with you, so the breakout point would be the $44,000. I mean, how insane is that? And over time, as you see, if we spend a few more days, it gets lower and lower. It gets lower. So for example, if we didn't do anything and we didn't break this upper trend line, right? So this white trend line, what you notice is, say for example, the 8th of August is 39K, right? 8th of August, sorry, no, not 39. 8th of August would be 43K, right? 10th of August would be 42K. And if we come here, for example, the 23rd of August would be 41K. We're already here, so we're about to break through this. The sooner we break through this, obviously it's going to be a little bit of how would you say, more resistance, but if we take a bit of time to break this area, it's going to be explosive. It's going to shoot up, and I think if it might even, the volume, if we do get the volume confirmation, I'm going to see the volume as well. If we get volume confirmation, we might even smash through all of this and come and find resistance here. I mean, how insane would that be? Can you imagine that? Right, so this is what it's looking like. But listen, after every pump, expect a dump, and after every dump, expect a pump, right? So that's what we are. So that's one of the logo you can see on the title as well. So if we look at the market cap today, let's have a look and see what's been going on in the market. So we can see the market cap volume is okay. It's okay. It's dropped below 100. We want it above 100 all the time. It's dropped below 100. We had a little bit of volume disappear from here, which is not much of a problem. But looking at this, remember we were like, about, I think 30 something percent over the 90 days, currently showing at 29, which is not that bad. But it has attempted, you can see the 24-hour high, 40,816. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Also, if you look at the volume here and also look at the market cap, so look at them side by side, this has increased. That means we've had more buys even within these prices, even though the volume is low, right? We've actually had more buys here, so more BTC value here. So everything looking very good. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not really much else to say. I just hope this fight was kind of informative. You found this value in this particular video because of what I saw and what we are expecting, because I completely missed it. I'll be honest with you, I completely missed it because I'm looking at all the other patterns on the planet and I missed one crucial pattern that's been flashing for some time, and it was on the weekly, it was on a larger time frame. So I mean, this is just insane. This is just insane looking at this particular pattern. Can you imagine this? This is a weekly bull flag, a weekly bull flag, not even a daily. This is a weekly bull flag, even more powerful than a daily bull flag. So I hope you like what you're seeing. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll bring you more of these kind of insane content, because obviously I'm always working on charts. And one thing you'll find here, guys, I don't use a fresh chart every single day. I don't delete the charts. I usually work on the charts with you guys, and I'm a big fan of Fibonacci, so I use the Fibonacci a lot. Sometimes I use Elliott waves, and I use basic patterns to basically give you what's going on in the chart. And when we look at charts, we look at the facts in the chart. We're not looking for the noise, we're not looking for anything. That's what we're looking for. Just clear-cut information, knowing exactly where we're going to be rejected, knowing exactly where we should be buying, knowing all of those things, drawing patterns and all sorts. So some of these, I mean, I could draw the lines, and it's just, I think a lot of people found it hard the other day when I was showing you these kind of patterns, where I was actually showing you how we would go like this, bounce like this, do that. I think a lot of people got confused because what happened, and I'll show you what I mean. They looked at the dates. It had nothing to do with this is the pattern we play. So for example, we go up and then we come down and we stop here. We go up twice and we come down once. So whenever we break through, whenever we do a breakout, we will always go to the next level and then get rejected and come back to the previous level. So the level we missed. So, the way we do it is, for example, if I'm going to do a breakout from here, I will go and test that. And then I need a confirmation. So I either have a confirmation on this particular level here, for example, right? Or I have a confirmation on this particular level, I do this, for example, do this, and I have a confirmation here, right, before I do a bounce. So these are the kind of stuff you just need to look out for. This is how it works. Patterns are pretty insane. But when you figure it out, you'll actually know exactly when to put your buy order, when to put your sell order, and monetize on it and make as much money as you can. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another one, guys. I hope this was informative, and yeah, I mean, I hope you found value.